There's a city where a Michelin-starred meal costs less than $3. Another where over 500,000 street vendors serve 22 million people every single day. And one tiny island nation made its street food so important. The United Nations declared it a cultural treasure of humanity. These are the 10 best street food cities on the planet, ranked by data, not opinion. We cross-reference 10 of the world's most respected food authorities, from TasteAtlas and its 477,000 ratings, to Michelin's street food guides, to UNESCO's cultural heritage list. We scored each city on variety, affordability, scale, and global recognition. A city had to appear on at least 3 independent rankings to qualify. Here's what we found. Number 10. Marrakech. Every night, the same transformation happens in the heart of Marrakech. As the sun goes down over Jima Elefane Square, over 100 food stalls materialize from nowhere. Smoke rises, lanterns flicker, and what was an open plaza by day becomes the largest open-air restaurant on Earth. This isn't just tradition, it's officially recognized. In 2001, UNESCO declared this entire square a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. It was one of the first cultural spaces on Earth to receive this designation, and the street food is central to that recognition. Here's what nobody tells you about eating at the square. The stalls closest to the edges are almost always better than the ones in the center. The center stalls survive on tourist foot traffic alone. The edge stalls need to actually earn repeat local customers. For under $5, you can eat lamb tagine slow-cooked in ceramic, fresh squeezed orange juice for 40 cents, and snail soup that locals have been making for centuries. The spice combinations, Ras El Hanout alone uses over 30 ingredients, create flavors you simply cannot find anywhere else. Number 9. Lima. Lima sits at the crossroads of 3 completely different ecosystems: the Pacific coast, the Andes Mountains, and the Amazon rainforest. And each one feeds directly into the city's street food. Ceviche isn't just a dish here. It's a national institution. The lime-cured fish, invented by pre-Inca civilizations, has been designated a national cultural heritage by the Peruvian government. Street-side cevicherias serve it fresh every morning, and by tradition, most close by 3 p.m. because the fish must be prepared that day. But Lima's real secret weapon is the fusion. For centuries of immigration, Japanese, Chinese, African, Italian, created entirely new cuisines that exist nowhere else. Nikkei cuisine blends Japanese technique with Peruvian ingredients. Chifa combines Chinese wok cooking with Andean chilies. These aren't restaurant innovations. They started on the streets. If you visit Lima, eat ceviche before noon. The locals know the fish is freshest in the morning, and the best cevicherias literally run out by lunchtime. TasteAtlas ranks Lima among the world's top 15 food cities. The average street meal costs between $2 and $5, and the city now has more culinary awards per capita than almost any other in South America. Number 8. Osaka. The Japanese have a word for Osaka's relationship with food, hideor. It literally means eat until you drop. And this city takes it seriously. While Tokyo gets the Michelin stars and the global fame, Osaka is where Japanese people go to eat. TasteAtlas ranked it the 10th best food city on the planet. The Dotonbori district alone contains over 2,000 restaurants and food stalls packed into a half-mile strip along the canal. Takoyaki, crispy octopus balls, were invented here in 1935. Okonomiyaki, the savory pancake that lets you choose your own fillings, is an Osaka original. And kushikatsu, deep-fried skewered everything, has been a street staple since the 1920s. Quick tip for Osaka: there's a strict rule at kushikatsu stalls. Never double dip in the communal sauce. Seriously, locals will call you out. One dip only, or use the cabbage leaf to scoop more sauce. What makes Osaka unique on this list is the price-to-quality ratio. Street takoyaki costs around 500 yen, about $3.50 for 8 pieces. That's Michelin-level technique at convenience store prices. CEOWORLD's 2026 Foodie Index gave Osaka one of the highest value scores of any Japanese city. Number 7. Istanbul. Istanbul is the only city in the world that physically sits on two continents. And its street food reflects exactly that. A collision of European and Asian flavors that exists nowhere else. Start your morning with a simit from a street cart, a sesame-crusted bread ring that costs about 25 cents. That's not a tourist price. That's what 16 million residents pay every single day. The simit cart is to Istanbul what the hot dog stand is to New York, except it's been here for 500 years. Then there's balik ekmek, grilled mackerel and bread, served from boats bobbing on the Golden Horn. Lahmacun, Turkey's answer to pizza, comes paper-thin from wood-fired ovens built into alley walls. And the kebab, the real kebab, not the late-night European version, comes in 15 regional varieties, each from a different part of Anatolia. CNN Travel placed Istanbul on their definitive list of the world's best street food cities. The Michelin Guide launched its first-ever Istanbul edition in 2023, recognizing the city's depth. And the average street meal still costs under $4. What sets Istanbul apart is the 24-hour culture. Unlike most cities on this list, Istanbul's street food never stops. At 3 a.m., you'll find kokorek stands grilling lamb intestines, wet burger shops steaming sandwiches in garlic sauce, and tea vendors pouring from double-stacked kettles on every corner. Number 6. Hong Kong. Hong Kong made street food history in 2016 when the Michelin Guide published its first-ever street food guide for the city, the first in the world. That wasn't accidental. Hong Kong's Dai Pai Dong tradition, open-air food stalls licensed by the government since the 1920s, created one of the most sophisticated street food ecosystems on Earth. Tim Ho Wan, a tiny dim sum stall in Mong Kok, became the world's cheapest Michelin-starred restaurant. A full meal costs under $7. Har Gow, Siu Mai, Char Siu Bao. These dim sum classics were perfected in Hong Kong street markets, not in fine dining rooms. CEOWORLD's 2026 Food Index ranked Hong Kong 8th globally. The city has over 15,000 licensed food establishments, in a territory smaller than Los Angeles. That's the densest concentration of food per square mile of any city on this list. But the Dai Pai Dong is disappearing. The government stopped issuing new licenses decades ago. What were once thousands of open-air stalls are now just a few dozen. Each one that closes is a piece of culinary history that won't come back. If you want authentic Dai Pai Dong food, go to Sham Shui Pa or Siang Pon, not the tourist-heavy Temple Street. The stalls in residential neighborhoods serve the same dishes at half the price. Number 5. Ho Chi Minh City. This is arguably the cheapest place on earth to eat world-class street food. A bowl of pho, the rice noodle soup that Vietnam gave the world, costs between $1 and $1.50 from a street vendor. Banh mi, the crispy baguette filled with pate, pickled vegetables, and chili, costs about 75 cents. And com tam, broken rice with grilled pork, is a full meal for under $2. The Street Food Guy, a specialist ranking publication, placed Vietnam at number 1 in the world. And Ho Chi Minh City is Vietnam's street food capital, 9 million residents, nearly all of whom eat at least one street meal every day. The city operates on a completely different model from Western restaurants. Vendors often specialize in a single dish. One woman makes only bun zio, another makes only bun bo hue. They've been perfecting that one recipe for 20, sometimes 30 years. The result is a level of mastery you rarely find even in professional kitchens. There's no zoning, no food court, no centralized market. The entire city is the restaurant. Plastic stools on sidewalks, motorbikes doubling as mobile kitchens, and the persistent sound of sizzling woks at 6 a.m. Numbeo ranks Ho Chi Minh City among the most affordable food destinations globally, with restaurant prices 80% lower than London. Number 4. Singapore. In 2020, Singapore made history. UNESCO inscribed Singaporean hawker culture as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It's only the second street food tradition in the world to receive this recognition, after Marrakech in 2001. And no other city has built street food into its national identity quite like this. Singapore has 114 hawker centers containing over 13,400 individual stalls. These aren't informal. They're government-built, government-regulated public food halls that have existed since the 1970s. The system is so efficient that 90% of Singaporeans eat at hawker centers at least once a week. Here's the statistic that defies all logic. Hawker Chan, a soy sauce chicken stall in Chinatown Complex, earned a Michelin star in 2016 and still charges $3.80 for a plate. It was, and remains, one of the cheapest Michelin-starred meals in history. In total, the Michelin Guide recognizes 288 establishments across Singapore, including 58 Bib Gourmand hawker stalls. That's more recognized street food in one city than most countries have in total. Skip the famous stalls with 45-minute queues. Every hawker center has hidden gems 2 or 3 stalls down with no line and food that's just as good. Locals know this. They never queue. The food is a fusion of 4 cultures: Chinese, Malay, Indian, and Peranakan, all cooking side by side in the same centers. Hainanese chicken rice, laksa, char kway teow, roti prata. Each one is a cultural artifact masquerading as a $3 meal. Number 3. Mexico City. Let's start with a number that sounds impossible. Mexico City has an estimated 560,000 street food vendors. That's not a typo. Over 500,000 people wake up every day to feed this city from carts, stalls, and tianguis, the open-air markets that pop up on designated streets across the capital. In 2024, Mexicans spent $2.46 billion on tacos alone. The taco economy is larger than the GDP of some small nations. And 82% of Mexico's food sector operates through the informal street vendor economy, meaning the street is the restaurant for the majority of the population. The variety is staggering. Tacos al pastor, pork shaved from a vertical spit, inspired by Lebanese immigrants, are a Mexico City invention. Tlacoyos, blue corn masa stuffed with beans, have been made the same way since pre-Columbian times. And esquites, cup corn with mayo, chili, and lime, cost about 50 cents from any street cart. Fodor's 2026 placed Mexico City at number 4 globally for food. Time Out ranked it among the top 5, and CEOWORLD gave it a food index score of 91 out of 100, third highest in the world. What makes Mexico City's street food extraordinary is its depth. This isn't surface-level tourism food. It's a living, continuous food tradition stretching back thousands of years, from Aztec markets to the mercados of today. The city doesn't have street food. The city is street food. Number 2. Tokyo. Tokyo holds a record that no other city on Earth can match. It has more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other city in the world, 200 stars across the city in the 2025 guide. More than Paris, more than New York, more than London. But the genius of Tokyo's food culture is that the quality doesn't drop when you step outside. The same obsessive perfectionism that drives 3-star kaiseki restaurants is present in a 700 yen bowl of ramen from a stall under the train tracks. Tokyo doesn't have a separate street food tier. Everything is held to the same impossible standard. Tsukiji's outer market, even after the wholesale operation moved to Toyosu, remains one of the most concentrated street food destinations on Earth. Tamagoyaki, the rolled egg, from a 90-year-old stall. Tuna skewers cut from fish that sold for thousands at auction that morning. Melon pan fresh from a bakery the size of a closet. Fodor's ranked Tokyo number 1 for food destinations in 2026. TasteAtlas places it in the top 5. And unlike most expensive cities, Tokyo's street food remains accessible. Yakitori skewers for 150 yen, onigiri for 120 yen, and standing soba for under 500 yen. The train station food scene alone is world-class. Tokyo Station's underground levels contain over 100 food outlets. Shinjuku Station, the busiest in the world, has dedicated food floors that rival standalone restaurants. In Tokyo, even commuting is a food experience. Number 1. Bangkok. There's a reason Bangkok appears on every single ranking we researched. Everyone. TasteAtlas, Time Out, CNN Travel, CEOWORLD, Fodor's, Lonely Planet, The Street Food Guy. All of them place Bangkok in the top 5. No other city achieved this universal consensus. In Time Out's 2025 global survey, 47% of food experts named Bangkok the best street food city on Earth. That's not a close race. The runner-up didn't even break 20%. Bangkok street food operates on a scale that's almost impossible to visualize. Chatuchak Weekend Market alone covers 35 acres with over 15,000 stalls. Yaowarat Road, the city's Chinatown, transforms every night into a kilometer-long open-air kitchen. An estimated 20,000 street food vendors work the city at any given time. And then there's JFAI, a 78-year-old woman cooking behind a wall of flame in a tiny open-air shop house. In 2018, she became the first Thai street food vendor to earn a Michelin star, and the only one to hold it for 7 consecutive years. Her crab omelet costs 1,000 baht, about $28, making her the most expensive street vendor in the city. And there's still a 3-hour wait every night. Here's the real insider move in Bangkok. Don't eat on Khao San Road. That's tourist food at tourist prices. Walk 10 minutes to Soi Ram Buttery or Samson Road, and you'll find the same dishes for a third of the price, served to actual locals. The average street meal in Bangkok costs between 40 and 100 baht. That's $1 to $3. Pad Thai from a wok that's been seasoned for 40 years. Som Tam, green papaya salad, pounded to your exact spice level. Mango sticky rice for $1. And Khao Man Gai, poached chicken rice, that rivals Singapore's national dish at a fraction of the cost. Bangkok isn't number 1 because it has the fanciest food or the most Michelin stars. It's number 1 because no other city on earth combines this variety, this quality, this accessibility, and this scale, all for under $3 a meal. The entire city is an open kitchen, and everyone is invited. From Morocco to Thailand, from 25-cent simit to Michelin-starred crab omelets, these 10 cities prove that the world's best food isn't behind a reservation list. It's on the street, it's in the smoke, and it costs less than your morning coffee. If this made you hungry, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. We rank the world's most fascinating places every week. Like this video if street food is real food. And leave a comment. Which city on this list are you eating your way through first?